My name is Härmänmaa, and I have the greatest pleasure to chair this panel created by Professor Paola Sica about futurism and science. And today we are going to listen or hear three most interesting papers, starting with our friend Antonio. Antonio Saccoccio is an independent scholar affiliated with the University of Tor Vergata, Rome, Italy. He is a composer of computer music and a writer. He founded the Net Futurism, near avant-garde, creating multimedia art. Okay? All right. And today, Antonio is going to give us a paper about futurism beyond the concept of Modernolatria. Please, Antonio.
Hello everybody. I'm really glad to take part in this panel, and I warmly thank Paola Sica for the organization of the event and the university for the hospitality. First of all, I'd like to apologize to you because I just read my report in English, but I don't sufficiently master your language to succeed in making my speech without following a written text. I realized that this fact may make less forceful what I have to say, but I believe that, thanks to the slides that I have prepared, you will the same be able to understand the material points of my talk. Of course, I also apologize for my pronunciation. The idea, which is the foundation of the futurist avant-garde, has too many times been interpreted in a simplistic and unambiguous way. Futurism is not merely an enthusiastic exaltation of technology in all its forms, but, in the words of Marinetti, is based on the complete renewal of human sensibility, which has been brought as an effect of science's great discoveries. In order to understand the real relations between futurism and the new technologies, it is necessary to read the most thoughtful and reasonable texts written by Marinetti and by other futurists. This is the only way that will allow the scholar to get the right key to the interpretation of what Umberto Boccioni called Modernolatria. The futurists had been the first to understand that all the scientific innovations were upsetting human sensibility, and with their manifestos and works of art, they wanted to witness and encourage these changes, which would inflict a mortal blow on the so much detested passeism. Now, we will examine together some passages drawn from important futurist manifestos. Technology and modernity have been mentioned and enhanced since the 1909 Futurist Manifesto. However, these issues appear only in the 4th and 11th and last part of the famous text by Marinetti. We affirm that the beauty of the world has been enriched by a new form of beauty, the beauty of spirit, a racing car, etc. We shall sing the great masses shaken with work, pleasure, or rebellion. We shall sing the multicolored and polyphonic tidal waves of revolution in the modern metropolis. We shall sing, etc. Marinetti's manifesto does not open with vision of modernity. The love of danger, the energy, the fearlessness, courage, boldness, rebelliousness, the aggressive movement, the feverish insomnia, etc. These human qualities are the real priorities, not the glorification of modern life, science, technology. But far more important is to underline how this vision of modernity, even by the first manifesto, is absolutely poetic and nothing it claims of the futurist ideology. To understand the relationship between futurism and the new technologies, we have to start from another text, much less poetic and far more theoretical. It is the text by Marinetti called The Futurist Sensibility that is part of the manifesto Extraction of Syntax, Wireless Imagination, Words in Freedom, May 1913. Futurism is based on a complete renewal of human sensibility, which has been brought as an effect of science's great discoveries. Those people who today make use of the telegraph, the telephone, the gramophone, the train, the bicycle, the motorcycle, the automobile, the ocean liner, the dirigible, the airplane, the cinema, the great newspaper, the synthesis of a day in the world's life, are not aware of the decisive influence that these various forms of communication, transportation, and information have on their psyches. This text should be mentioned before any discussion of futurism, to avoid silly misunderstandings and simplistic interpretations. The telegraph, the telephone, the gramophone, the train, the automobile, the airplane, the cinema, and other forms of communication have an enormous influence on the psyche of man. The world has changed. Superficial minds are indifferent to these changes, which are rather to an acute observer as many modifiers of our sensibility. It is clear that Marinetti believes that futurists are the acute observers, while traditionalists are the ones who remain insensitive to the changes brought about by the new technologies. Later, still in the same passage, Marinetti really shows to have a futurist sensibility and leaves us some of his most acute observations and, we can now say, prophetic ones. The earth shrunk by speed, new sense of the world. Let me explain. Men have successfully conquered a sense of the house, the neighborhood in which they live, the city, the region, the continent. Today, man possesses a sense of the world. He has only a modest need to know what his forebears have done, but a burning need to know what his contemporaries are doing in every part of the globe. Whence the necessity for the individual of communicating with all the peoples of the earth. A gigantic increase in the sense of humanity and an urgent need to coordinate at every moment our relations with all humanity. Then later, so these are some of the elements of a new futurist sensibility which have generated our pictorial dynamism, our anti-graceful music devoid of rhythmic regularity, our art of noises and futurist words in freedom. Let's take the technical manifesto of futurist painting. You think we are crazy. We are, on the contrary, the primitive of a completely primitive sensibility. One of the most significant manifestos to understand the new futurist sensibility is undoubtedly The Art of Gnosis by Luigi Russolo, 1913. Russolo was not a musician, he was a painter. Yet, his renewed sensibility suggested an insight that had eluded even Rotella, the most important musician of futurism. The human auditory sensibility in the early 20th century was influenced, especially in urban settings, by the increasing presence of noise in the reality of everyday life. In older times, life was completely silent. In the 19th century, with the invention of machines, noise was born. Today, noise is triumphant and reigns supreme over the sensibility of man. So, we now need to insert this noise in our musical compositions to support our new sensibility. Let's read some of the final points of the manifesto. In the text of 1915, Electric War, a futurist visionary hypothesis, written by Marinetti, we already find in the title another key term to our topic, electricity. The beginning of the text, interpreted after nearly a century, is once again prophetic. Oh, how I envy the man who will be born in a century in my beautiful peninsula, all brought to life, shocked and harnessed by the new electric forces. Marinetti comes with great clarity to identify the matrix of that transformation of human sensibility that had previously placed the base of the Futurist revolution, and that matrix is undoubtedly electricity, which will soon renew the world. We have to note that the role assigned to electricity is not neutral, because electricity has a positive role for futurists. Electricity will make Italy fully brought to life.